Right, well, back again for another video where you come back to watch the James Knows Nothing channel, and consistently, I don't know why, it's annoying me now, keep showing up to watch a man who knows literally nothing about anything talk about something. Tell your friends about it. You've got a problem. Seek help, you. Because if you're watching this channel, then you're missing out on so much other stuff you could be doing. That's good shit. Back to the news. What has happened this week? Well, we've had some big news that Pepe, the Brazilian-born Portuguese centre-back, is retiring from all forms of football at the age of 41 years old. I want to talk about Pepe because he is a very, very interesting player to just look at the narratives that have surrounded his career. First of all, you've got to give him his credit. He has won 1 European Championship with Portugal. He has won 3 UEFA Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. He has won 3 Copa del Rey. Basically, he's won an awful lot. Super Cups, he's won the Nations League, he's won 4 Portuguese leagues, 3 Spanish Super Cups, 5 Portuguese Cups, 1 Portuguese League Cup, 1 Intercontinental Cup. He's won an awful lot, basically, and I think that is a reflection of his quality as a football player. And as a defender, he's always been able to prove his worth, even in insanely good teams. Predominantly that Real Madrid team of 2013 to 2017, where he was present. You look back at that team, and genuinely about 60% of the players that were starting for Real Madrid at that time are arguably some of the best football players in footballing history, like Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Karim Benzema, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Marcelo, Sergio Ramos. So like I said, like an insanely stacked team, and Pepe always still managed to kind of find his voice amongst them. However, I do think he gets overlooked. I'm not necessarily sure if he's underrated as such, because as much as I don't want to take credit away from Pepe, he was playing next to Sergio Ramos, who in my opinion was a lot better of a footballer than Pepe. Pepe very much had his role, but his role wasn't to be the high quality ball playing. His role was to be a gladiator. His role was to almost enable Sergio Ramos's qualities and also try to not let Sergio Ramos go mental, even though that didn't really work. But he's, again, I know this is a cliche, Pepe is the sort of player that you would hate to play against but would always want on your side. Very much like Bruno Fernandes, you know, just getting in the referee's ear, getting in the opposition's ear, always leaving a bit too much on tackles, always leaving his elbow hanging, like just really nasty traits, but traits that made him a very good defender to play against. Way back in the day, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, Pepe was unanimously considered to be like this monster, scary defender who would always get red cards, who would always lose his temper, who would always get into fights. He was this animal on the pitch, very, very much like Diego Costa, the ex-Chelsea striker, very animalistic, very reactionary, very fucking just always, he seems like he's done a gram of coke before every game. But I think the narrative has massively changed on Pepe. As he's been able to find his way into Portugal squads, every Euros, every World Cup, he's still there, to be able to continue to play in the Champions League. Porto, like last season, at the age of 40, he was playing Champions League knockout stage football against Arsenal. Time has got longer and longer and longer. I think that the respect for Pepe has just completely outgrown this narrative that he is self and a bit of a nasty player. And I think that because he's been able to maintain this standard of professionalism all the way into his 40s, I think that will outlive this narrative that he's a bit more of an animal than other players. And in terms of that side of his game where he does lose his temper, he does lose control, I think a lot of the time, well, not a lot, but in a few occasions, Pepe has just been completely misprofiled. And I'm not trying to for a second start to play a small violin for Pepe. However, if you think back to the World Cup, I think it was 2018, but when, or maybe it was 2014, basically when Portugal played Germany, it was when Pepe had long curly hair. I remember that vividly. Thomas Muller gets into his face after Pepe has basically felled him. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot in it, maybe a yellow card at best. Thomas Muller then walks over to Pepe, puts his face in Pepe's face, starts screaming at him. Pepe then literally just gets up and like pushes him a little bit. Obviously Muller then goes down like a sack of bricks, and Pepe gets a straight red card. And I think that's the sort of player he was, where he lived and died by his reactions, right? So even if he didn't react, everyone assumed he was getting angry, that he was losing his temper, and therefore he was a victim of that and got unnecessary red cards. But like I said, I think that narrative of him being mental isn't actually that accurate. I think Pepe was actually a lot more of a leader than he was a thug. Same as Sergio Ramos. I would actually make the argument that Sergio Ramos was more of an animal than Pepe. I think Pepe always seemed to keep his a level head in most situations where you'd expect him to bubble over. It's just the ones that are bad and where he does react are really bad. So they stick in the mind a lot more prevalently than other moments in his career. Yeah, again, for me, like he was just very so polarising, and if you ended up having a striker injured or Pepe ended up getting sent off against your team, then you absolutely hate him. But like I said, to be on your team, he would have been class, and I think that goes to show with the longevity that he's had in football, and I think that he definitely has earned his spot in the modern footballing canvas, the history of modern football. That's the thing as well, he always had to compete with Ramos and Varane at Real Madrid, so it's not even like he had an easy ride there. So to be able to compete with them, and then once he's left Real Madrid, go and carry on playing football for 10 years, even though he was at like already 24 when he joined Real, it's just an insanely good story in football. And I think it goes to show that maybe footballers' lifespans aren't as short as maybe we thought. You know, often now footballers get to 34, 35, you tend to sort of, right, that's them done. Pepe's just proven he can play into his 40s at a Champions League level and still perform consistently. So, you know, maybe footballers can retire at a later age. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that footballers maybe retire a bit early? Do you think that Pepe's a freak of nature? Like, which is correct? But just a short video today, just talking about Pepe, because I like Pepe. Anyway, if you did enjoy the video, please drop a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later, baby.